through storms, unshaken, unbowed. Through trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him. He's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules. A new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to ditch the rich. He's a fighter, a leader with a plan to share. A world of justice, well spread fair. Forget the old guards, the time is done. Under the banner of Trump, we all have won. So here's to the future, bright and clear. With Trump at the helm, with nothing to fear. The chains will break, and we'll all see a new world for you, a new world for me.
Welcome, everyone, to the Crazy Kryptonite. I am Zester, and thank you guys so much for joining this evening. And yeah, we got some news. We got some news to share, and we have got to start learning more about JD Vance and his support for cryptocurrency. What's up, everybody? What's up, Gary? Thank you so much being number one on the like button. And what's up, Kukla? As always, thank you for everything you do. And Kukla says, Trump picks Ohio Senator JD Vance as his VP running mate. In my opinion, a good choice. He has a way of connecting with the American middle class, blue-collar community. Kukla, I was kind of surprised by the choice. But I think maybe it's going to upset some in terms of they were looking for a more moderate VP option. And in all honesty, I don't really care. But I understand why there's going to be talking heads. They're going to be going out there and saying that. They're going to think that, well, a very moderate VP might have been able to appeal to more of the independents or the undecideds. But in all honesty, for Trump, with his age and with this situation, Trump's really picking, and I don't think he should have, I think he made the right choice, because picking a moderate would have essentially taken Trump's legacy and moved it back towards the status quo. By picking someone that, as we look towards the future, is going to ensure that we maintain Trump-style politics, I think that was a good thing. And so I'm really, really happy with it. And from a crypto side, we're going to be extremely happy about it, guys, because we're going to learn about what JD Vance owns in regards to crypto, because not only does he own a little bit of cryptocurrency, JD Vance owns a pretty substantial amount of crypto. And he is actually rated by the different groups that rate senators and Congress people on their standings in regards to certain sectors, certain industries. He is considered a strong candidate that is pro-crypto in regards to that category. And so he's pro crypto, he's anti CBDCs, and he's going to continue Trump style politics. And so we have so much to go into, though, guys, in regards to everything that occurred over the weekend. I know I'm still reeling over it. It's still just, it doesn't seem real to me. Definitely thinking about otherworldly powers in regards to the efforts, the spiritual efforts that are going on in the world, because it seemed like a lot of things occurred over this weekend that were, well, unexplainable by any human logic. What's up, Crazy Chester? And we'll get back to all of that. A lot of today's show, guys, is going to be a matter of talking, just because so much has gone on. We are going to get through the news. We're going to talk about JD Vance, but also just because of everything that occurred over the weekend in regards to the attempt on Trump's life, all of the footage, all of the everything. I'm certain we're going to get distracted a time or two throughout the show today. Thank you, Crazy Chester. And yeah, Gary7, JE is pro crypto. I believe Trump is pro crypto. What about the House? That is a big factor. And that actually makes me think, Gary, about the one question I had in regards to choosing Vance is, are we still going to be safe on that Ohio seat? I mean, ultimately, having the right person in the office is more important. But still, are we going to have the right person in that Ohio Senate seat after yanking him out? That's why this election is going to be so important. It's not a matter of whether Trump's going to win. Trump's going to win. After this weekend, Trump may win in a landslide in every single state after this past weekend. Trump not only was a absolute badass, but handled himself with an extreme degree of poise and courage. In all honesty, it seemed like something out of a movie. So I have no doubt Trump is going to win the presidency now. At this point in time, it's not a shadow of doubt. There's no way, no candidate could possibly show up and beat Trump. They could not bring back anybody from the past famous presidents that could possibly beat Donald Trump in this election. What can be very important is whether the House and the Senate follow. Because keep in mind, guys, that it's a three-branch government. We got the executive, the legislative, and the judicial. And ultimately, the executive and the legislative are the main determinants of the judicial system, because they are the ones that actually vote or appoint the judges in the vast majority of federal level positions. And so it's not only a matter of whether Trump's going to be able to push through the legislation that he wants. It's a matter of whether we're going to be able to change the broken judicial system that we currently exist in. And so it's extremely important that we not only win the executive, the presidency, but that both houses follow. And I'd sure as heck like a lot more of the governors as well on a state level. And so that's where I think everything in regards to this last push is going to be important. We don't have to worry about whether Trump's going to win anymore. Trump's going to win. But we do need to worry about the down ballot elections. That's going to be what I think is most important at this point in time. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted on saying hellos. What's up, David? What is up? Oh, and thank you so much for my apple. It is much appreciated, man. Oh, welcome, Grandma Sally. Kukla is JD Vance, 39 years old. I am not certain on his exact age. I know I was looking at his pages earlier and had been in the past couple of days, because I had a little birdie told me he might be the person. And so I'd been learning a bit about him over the days, and all I knew was young, at least in terms of what we're used to in regards to our politicians nowadays. Very, very young. Oh, Crazy Chester. I am absolutely going to be keeping you in mind with my prayers. Crazy Chester says, doing well, survived my first cataract surgery on Friday. I judging by the fact you said first, I imagine that means there's going to be more. And so I will be keeping you in mind and in prayer, Crazy Chester. Oh, welcome, Mile High Trish. Hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful start to the week. Ah, and welcome, Captain Spiffy. All right, guys, I'm going to start rolling through here. Oh, James North, first time joining this channel. Thank you so much, James, for joining us today. It is a pretty exciting one in regards to the news. And I mean, we've never had a pro-crypto anything in the White House. And now we have pro-crypto Trump, and we're going to have pro-crypto Vance in the White House. I saw that as a particularly reinforcing factor in regards to the importance of crypto going into the future. And I'm actually, and I've been asking questions to folks that I harass with my messages in terms of the campaign and everything of that nature. If it was not a major determination in terms of picking Vance. Vance checks off a lot of boxes, but in all honesty, there were probably other options that I think would have been more immediately palatable. I mean, right off the bat, people would have been extremely happy on the left and the centrist side in regards to, say, a Tulsi Gabbard. They would have been very, very happy. It would have undoubtedly brought votes over to Trump's team. Now, is Tulsi perfect? Of course not. Just talking demographics here, election scale. But what is up? Yeah, I was getting off on a tangent there, guys. What is up, Mary Jones? I'm going to try to stay focused. Welcome, Donna and Carla. All right, guys. Cindy D. Cook. Yeah, I am not happy about the VP pick myself. He will have to prove himself to me. I agree. I agree, Cindy. We definitely need to see where he ends up, because it's a different position. It's an entirely different position. How does he handle himself as the future vice president? It's going to be important to see. Oh, and thank you, Kukla. As always, guys, never a fun part of the stream, but it's an important one to go through. Anything and everything shared on the Crazy Kryptonaut channel or said by myself, Zester, is entirely for entertainment and educational purposes and should not be viewed as professional, financial, legal, spiritual advice or anything of the nature. Please consult a professional before making any major decisions. Thank you, Kukla, as always. Oh, Cindy, Cindy D. Trump's record of VP picks is not that great, though. Well, yeah, he is. Technically, he's never managed to get a good one, but he's only picked once. So hopefully, if we're going off of a coin toss, that means chances are looking pretty good on Vance being a quality one in comparison. Gary 7, any info if JD is controlled? That is an important question. It is. It is. And we're now going to be, and it's going to make it so difficult because we're going to get flooded with misinformation from the left trying to destroy JD Vance. They're going to say horrible things. I've already been reading the articles throughout the day, and especially since the announcement was made. And the left is already trying to destroy him. They're doing anything and everything in their power. And so it's going to make our jobs even more difficult because we're going to have to try to figure out whether we're just believing leftist propaganda or whether it's a legitimate story. And so I would say everyone needs to be keeping that in mind as things come out about Vance in the coming months, coming weeks, coming days, to keep in mind the source. Are they attempting to influence us to be less excited about the Republican Party in terms of the election, or are they providing us with legitimate information that is concerning? I think that's going to be very, very, very important in the coming weeks. And so I'm going to be as I tend to do, Gary. And I imagine this is something that over time, with me streaming and being vocal and being public, that people will start to learn. I hate making that immediate declaration or statement on a person, an event, the news, anything of that nature. Because nowadays we have so much misinformation. And yes, we're all immediately connected. And that means we get to share news quickly. But in the same way that telephone, when we were kids, the game where you would say something into your friend's ear, and then they'd say it to the next friend, and they'd say it to the next friend, and they'd say it to the next friend. And it's never correct when it gets to the very, very end. I think that in this modern era with social media, that whenever we have this type of news, we get something big like Vance is the VP, or the attempt on Trump's life at the rally, that we're immediately flooded with so much information because they want to mess up our game of telephone. They want us all to be confused. They want us all to be sharing different information. They don't want us to be able to actually hammer down on what's true, what's factual, what was reality. They don't want that. And so I'm going to be holding off for a little while on a lot of my very, very serious opinions in regards to Vance or any other event that occurs, just because in this modern world, it can be a bit dangerous to make quick decisions and quick opinions. And Kukla, God protected Trump on Saturday. Pray for Sam. God did. Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a matter of half an inch. Half an inch. For anyone out there to not say that there is a divine purpose going on in regards to this election and what's going on in our world after this weekend, for anyone to deny that, I think is, well, there are people that are just not willing to wake up. There is absolutely and has to be a divine purpose going on. That is too much luck. Too much luck for it to not be otherworldly. It's just not possible. Oh, Kukla, Zester, how are things going with Tino and Tina? I am, fingers crossed, I am getting that news tomorrow. And so I should have all of those test results tomorrow, Kukla. There was a delay. The vet could not manage to get things in and done fast enough. The lab was going slow. And so tomorrow is looking like the day that I will have that news. And so I'm looking forward to it hesitantly. All right, though, guys, let's go ahead and jump into it, because we do. Let's look at our news. We've got JD Vance, pro-crypto Ohio Senator. JD Vance is Donald Trump's vice president pick. Trump said that the Ohio Senator will be strongly focused on the people he fought so brilliantly for the American workers and farmers. And this article is coming from CoinDesk. Keep in mind that it is, of course, a crypto news outlet. And so that's going to be a primary focus, a lot of the news that they share. And it's a good thing because it makes for a decent change up from our mainstream outlets. At least here we know they're biased. The company's biased towards being pro-crypto. Otherwise, they do particularly good work. And so in 2022, Vance, on his Senate financial disclosure, disclosed that he held between $100,000 and $250,000 in cryptocurrencies. So we know that Vance himself is actually a personal holder of crypto. And from other research I've done, it seems as if he primarily holds Bitcoin and Ethereum. Just so everyone knows, that's just what I found to this point. When I have more time to get into more research, I'll probably be able to actually find his wallet and find out whether he's an XRP holder, an XLM holder, or anything else of that nature, which I do want to do. And I think that everyone will probably enjoy that information, especially if he happens to hold the cryptocurrency that you also hold. That will be very, very positive news. But what all of this has all led into has been an extreme boom in the crypto market over the past couple of days. Ever since the attempt on Trump's life, the crypto markets have been exploding. Now, does this entirely make sense? I'm not certain. I'm not certain. What the talking heads and what the big financial analysts are saying is that because Trump is pro crypto, because many people believe JD Vance was going to also be the VP and that he's pro crypto, and that Trump, having survived the attempt on his life, is going to win the election, that people are buying at absurd rates because they now believe there's not a shadow of doubt that Trump will win the election come November. And so that is what's being thrown around as the logic behind this massive, massive bump we've seen in the markets over the past days. And so to give examples, Bitcoin sitting at 63,679, 13.4% up in 7 days, 5.3% in 24 hours. Ethereum sitting close to 15% in 7 days. But you want the really happy one, that would be XRP. Back up at 53 cents, 25% in a matter of 7 days. And so a lot of the analysts, and I always take their wisdom with a grain of salt, are pointing towards Trump and the impending victory as being the main reason for crypto's uptick. I have been unable to find absolutely anything else from other outlets discussing any reasons, in all honesty, besides Trump. That's what everybody's pointing towards. The only other article that I managed to find, or in all honesty, any other data that I managed to find, is that BlackRock's CEO has changed his tune. That is, BlackRock's Larry Fink says he was wrong and now calls Bitcoin digital gold. Of course, BlackRock, not our friends, not here to help us out, but they are the world's biggest hedge fund, and they do hold $10.6 trillion in assets. And so regardless of whether I trust them, their opinion, it matters. And so between the Trump events of the weekend and the impending announcements by BlackRock, we really don't have anything else to point to in regards to the massive price increases. That's it. And now I would say that the Trump news and the fact that it is pretty much a lock, he's going to win the election. He already was. Now it's beyond a lock that he's going to win the election. That could be influencing a lot of people with big money to jump into the market. It also just smells fishy. So judging by the logic of this massive increase, okay, yes, Trump's going to be president. Great news. It's good for crypto. But is it enough to account for this type of price increase? I don't think so. I don't think so. Just because if it were actually the day of, if we were, if this was November and we had just found out that Trump had won the election, I would expect this type of price action, maybe even a bit more of an upward trend, more green all around. But for it to have this much of an increase just based off of the fact that Trump survived, that definitely seems odd. So I'm hesitant of this general trend. I'm not going to count on it continuing. I think that this entire campaign season and just the world as it is, the world's events at the moment, are not going to allow this trend to continue for very, very long. So I'm not making any bold predictions that we are out of the downward trend. Honestly, I kind of think this is a dead cat bounce. And so for those that are not aware or have not heard of what a dead cat bounce is, it's, and sorry for poor cat, of course, but it's a phrase that's commonly used in markets for when something, an asset, a commodity, whatever it is, when markets have seen a general downturn and out of nowhere or seemingly without a lot of fundamental logic, we see a bump in price. And very often, these could also be called, whale traps. I've heard a variety of other terms used for essentially the same exact thing. And what very often occurs is that people buy into the hype. They go, okay, the downturn's over. Buy, 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 buy. And then the whales, the people in knowledge, they then sell and they steal that general enthusiasm. And so I am somewhat hesitant with it. Of course, we'll see in the coming days whether it has any holding power. But personally, this seems like a trap. This seems like a trap. And so I would be hesitant, guys, if you're out there, of course, not financial advice, but I would be hesitant if you see this general increase and you're going, oh, well, crypto's back. We're back in the bull. We're going up. We're going to hit all new all-time highs and everything else. I'd be a little bit hesitant. You may be right. You may be entirely correct. The market may have needed nothing more than to be certain that Biden wasn't going to win re-election. Maybe that's all the market needed. It easily could have been. And that is insanely positive news. But I would be a little bit careful, a little bit hesitant of fully trusting this current market. All right, though. Donna Thompson, could the increase be due to some people getting their currency exchanged? I am not certain. I am not certain at all. Donna, I would imagine that no matter what, in regards to things like that, it still takes a while to move money. And when you start to talk about large sums of money, it takes a heck of a lot longer to move it. And so I would be somewhat hesitant to think that maybe it could be. People could have gotten paid weeks ago, and now they are liquid, and now they are capable of getting transfers over to exchanges. But I personally do not know. And I know that my dinar and all of my currencies still sit inside of my gun safe. So if it has happened, I'm feeling a little left out. But it will. It will. All right, guys, let's jump in to our next ones. Yep. Donald Trump picks crypto-friendly JD Vance as running mate. Ohio Senator reported holding up to $250,000 worth of Bitcoin in 2022 and has supported specific pro-crypto legislation. And so just more and more information in regards to Vance on crypto-related issues. I will, of course, be sharing all of these links inside of the Discord. So please do jump on over there if you want to have these. All right. Yep. And of course, Trump reportedly in good spirits will still attend the Nashville Bitcoin conference. And so I thought this was absolutely too crazy. He actually, just a day after being shot at, he jumped on the phone and talked to Bitcoin Incorporated CEO David Bailey in regards to showing up for the event. And so we will be hearing from Trump at the Bitcoin convention. I am extremely excited to hear what he has to say. I think this will probably be the most informative statements from Trump in regards to what he feels about crypto and the direction that he's looking towards. I'm going to be very, very interested in hearing what he says in regards to XRP and what he says in regards to the regulations he does believe are necessary inside of the United States for the industry. And the very idea of what the United States is going to do for its currency going forward. I would expect that would actually be the meeting. And that's going to be, or that would actually be the speech where he finally shares that information. So I'm looking at this as being an extremely, extremely important event. And so the event is from July 25th through July 27th. So we're talking 10 days from now. The event will be ongoing. I am not certain. All right, here it is actually. Trump is slated to speak on the 27th. So in 12 days, I'm expecting to have some very, very, very interesting news to go through in regards to the future of cryptocurrency and to the future of our digital currencies. So that is going to be an amazing one. I probably will actually go live and cover the entire event for that, just because it has the potential to be that important. All right, Daniel Schroeder's Esther, not currency holders, but some bondholders were reporting to have been getting paid by Phil Rahm on Saturday morning's call. Very, very cool. Yeah, I had heard about that one, Daniel. Now that you reminded me that it was specifically bondholders, I had heard about that. I had yet, and I don't know if Pops maybe has, but I've yet to have any confirmation with someone I know. I have not talked to Pops about it, though. So that may be information that I just have not gotten shared with me yet. All right, though, guys, continuing on forward. Bitcoin conference organizer to raise $15 million for the Trump campaign. And so the reported fundraiser will come after the Republican National Convention, in which delegates are expected to nominate Donald Trump as the party's presidential candidate. And so this is all tying itself together. The crypto industry is going absolutely nuts for Donald Trump. We're seeing an insane amount of support, whether it's dollars, and also genuine support in regards to expertise. I know that the Trump campaign and that the Republican Party is actually running around trying to find people that are politically right-leaning, that are knowledgeable about how blockchain technology and crypto companies and cryptocurrencies work. And so that's something that I can tell you from kind of the back end. You're not going to find that in a news article, and no one's going to come out and mention it. But there has been a massive, massive search throughout the crypto industry by the Trump campaign. And now it seems as if the Republican Party on the whole is joining him to find right-leaning cryptocurrency people that understand and know how this works, people that build this technology, that also agree with the same politics. And so that's something that, cannot go into a lot of details into how they're going about it. But I can tell you that I know from not only myself, but others are receiving messages on a regular basis now. And so there is something very, very large going on in the background that we are not being informed of yet. And so that would be the reason I see all of these things coming together at the same time. We see tons of money coming from the crypto industry to the Trump campaign. We see Trump choosing a pro-crypto vice president. We see the Republican Party adopting crypto and the protection of crypto as a part of their national platform. And we all know that our economic system and our debt situation is untenable. And so when we take all of these things into account, and we also look at the way that the campaigns and parties are reaching out, something very, very large is going on in the background. What that is, whether that is the full shift in terms of our financial system, I'm not certain. But it's one of those type things where something smells. I can't see it. I can't find it. I don't know where it's at, but something stinks. And I think that for those that are paying attention to what's going on right now, it's going to start becoming more and more and more obvious that a major shift in how our finances work and how ownership and value is determined is occurring. We've got all of these other distractions going on around the world. And of course, many of them are very important. But ultimately, something huge is happening. Something huge. and they are trying to get all of the people together in order to help make it happen. And I think that's all that I can share in regards to it. Trying to pick words carefully. And Kukla Zester, please contact me on our Sassy. She cannot get into the Discord room. I will check that out, Kukla. I will check that out. I would say, in regards to the Discord room, just as a heads up, that we have never kicked anyone. And so no one should have any issue from our side. It may be something in relation to an account, but I will check it out, Kukla, and get with you. Thank you so much for sharing. And don't worry, Sassy, I'll get you back in there. I will get you back in there. Overcoming Victory says, hey, Zester, just got back from a cruise on my way home. Glad to see you. Thank you so much for joining on the way home. Thank you so much. Oh, Kukla, password issue. Yep, that's going to be with Discord. That is going to be with Discord. Unfortunately, I can't do anything to help on that one at all. That'll be nothing more than sending a, when you go to log in, it'll say, hey, do you forget your password? You click forget your password, and you should be able to get set up or get your password changed. I would say, whenever you do have things of that nature and you are having to change passwords and you're pretty certain that you know the right one, keep in mind that's a great time to check all of your other accounts just in case. Because typically if you see passwords change, it's because either something logical occurred or it's because someone has hacked into a lot of your accounts. And so I don't think that's the case, our Sassy. I bet that it's just a matter of getting a new password from Discord. But I would put that out as kind of a heads up to everyone. Whenever you do see all of your different services need a new password, just make certain to keep an eye around. Deborah Muse, thank you for your X post epic. Thank you so much, Deborah. And I don't usually share things that include profanity, but I felt as if there was, I had to. I had to share it. Absolutely had to. And so for those that are curious about what that X post was about that I shared, it was in regards to Tom McDonald's new song that he put out the day after the attempt on Trump's life. And so for any of those that are curious, I don't typically love rap music, but Tom McDonald is a patriot. Absolutely amazing messages that he's putting out there. And so if anyone has not heard Tom McDonald's You Missed, well, it's kind of exciting to listen to. And so for anyone that does want to, heck, why not? I'll just go ahead and actually share that in the chat. So if anyone wants that link, it is right there for that new Tom McDonald song. All right, though, we kind of jumped in and actually talked about a lot of these other articles a little bit earlier. But what we're seeing, guys, just as I had talked about earlier, is that all the talking heads, Bitcoin jumps as markets see increased odds of election victory for pro-crypto Trump. And so that is really what we're hearing from everybody. That's it. All they're telling us is the market's going great because Trump's going to win. That seems like too simple of an answer, in my opinion. It seems like too simple of an answer. There has to be more going on in the background. All right, Janet Yellen quietly admits serious U.S. dollar collapse fears as Trump primes Bitcoin for a $4 trillion price surge. So, of course, Janet Yellen is talking about how bad of a situation the U.S. dollar is in, which, no shit, Sherlock, in regards to that one. But also, we are starting to look towards the expectations and some of the analysis on what a Trump presidency would look like for crypto. And I think this is an important one in the coming months for us to start thinking about. What does a Trump administration look like for XRP? What does a Trump administration look like for Bitcoin, for Ethereum? What does it look like for a lot of the stable coins? Is he actually going to go out there and try to get these stable coin operators like Tether properly regulated? I don't know. Now we're going to be entering in to a lot of speculation in regards to what Trump's going to do with crypto, but also we're getting all of the clarion calls, the warning bells, the sirens are all being rung now by those same people, the Janet Yellens of the world, that told us there was nothing wrong with the U.S. financial system, that the dollar was strong. Not long ago, that was all she could talk about. She didn't have a single complaint in the world. Now we're starting to hear about how the U.S. dollar is going to collapse. That is news to a lot of Americans and a lot of people around the world, but I know for us, that's not news. We've been very, very aware for a long time that the fiat system, the U.S. dollar, the petrodollar, and its control over the global politics is going to go away. And it has to go away. At this point in time, the United States, our entire GDP can't even pay off the interest on our debt, much less actually pay it down. Our financial system is not just bad, it's beyond broken. And that is where we're going to see some really, really big conversations going on in the coming months. And especially, I think, in the first year of Trump's second presidency. In regards to that first year, I think 2025 is going to end up being a serious benchmark for the entire planet. It's going to be a year that is not just going to be important in history books. It's going to have to require chapters and chapters and chapters. Just because it's not just going to be ending the wars in Israel and Ukraine, it's going to be changing the way money and ownership works forever. And I do believe that Trump's going to get to be the president that makes that happen. It seems as if there is no doubt. All right, going into our last article, guys. Bitcoin rallies as Trump optimism powers crypto after shooting. Failed assassination attempt may boost Trump's re-election odds. I absolutely believe that it has boosted his odds. That was the second that he popped back up in that video. That was the first thing that came to my mind. Was first, well, actually, I guess it wasn't the first. First of all, was some people have got to be getting hit because just judging by the general way that everything occurred. And so I was immediately worried about the fact that maybe there were other people that had been hit. But first thing I thought when I saw Trump stand up and raise his fist with blood coming down the side of his face was he's going to win in a landslide. There's never been a more electable president that I can possibly imagine. Never has been. And that moment is not just going to be one of the most famous photos, one of the most infamous historic moments in U.S. history. I think that it is going to end up in the long run being, similar to the photo on Iwo Jima of raising the flag, a photo so iconic that every American, every person, even if they aren't an American, will always know it and always recognize it. And so I would agree with that general idea that after that, how could you not? If you were on the fence, if you were a moderate or an independent sitting there and going, hey, which one should I choose? You saw the Biden debate. You saw how out of it he is. And now you see Donald Trump stand right up and defiantly, bravely, and courageously stand right back up, ready to fight after getting shot. It isn't even a question. The odds changed. There is nothing that can stop the Trump election come November following this last weekend. There's not anything they could possibly do, not anything they could possibly say. They have proven without a shadow of a doubt that he is bulletproof and that he is protected. And I assume that everyone understands who I mean he's protected by. And so, all right, let's just see. Is there anything else in here that I wanted to go through? No, I think that actually was it. And so, guys, all of these links will be inside of the Discord. Actually, a bit shorter of an episode today, but I do have a million things to run through. And so I guess it's not a bad thing. And hopefully everyone has some exciting plans for this evening. And so I will look forward to seeing everyone over at the original Mark Z. Oh, and I would share this real quick right there at the end, just because I thought it was very, very cool. And that guy looks awfully familiar, doesn't he? Awfully familiar. And so I did want to just share that because I was excited that I found it. And so otherwise, guys, I'm sorry for it being a bit shorter today. It has been craziness on my side. And I would honestly say since this weekend, I've really felt a general sense of, I wouldn't say maybe not brain fog, but a busy mind. I've had a very, very busy mind for the past couple of days. And so sorry for any of my rambling during this stream today, but it has been a lot these past few days. A lot of research, a lot of learning, and a lot of thinking. And so that has required time. Thank you guys all so much for joining in. Oh, Zester, you're working on a t-shirt. Thank you so much, Kukla. I will be looking forward to it. And I will be looking forward to the original Mark Z at 7 p.m. Thank you guys all so much for joining. I love you. Have an absolutely blessed week, and look forward to an announcement in regards to Tina and Tino on Wednesday. And so for those that are interested in potentially being there for Tina, Wednesday is going to be the day where we get to all of that information. So peace, y'all.